Anniversaries are about memory. And mine was selective. Oh, I remembered the texts, the receipts, the scent that wasn't mine on his collar. So, tonight, I cooked. Nothing extravagant, just his favorite. Mushroom risotto, garlic roasted chicken, a touch of rosemary, and something else. Not enough to harm, just enough to hum. He sat down smiling. I sat down dressed to kill. Red, of course. He complimented the wine. I poured it slowly. Everything tonight was slow, calculated. A dinner built not to destroy, but to remind. He wouldn't forget this anniversary, and he definitely wouldn't sleep through the night. I watched him twirl his first bite like it was poetry. He always praised my plating. Tonight was no different, until the second bite. That's when the sweat began. Not panic, just a sheen. A glisten across his brow like guilt making itself known. I smiled, reached for my own plate, and ate. Slowly, cleanly. I hadn't touched his portion, of course. Mine was untouched by bitterness. He swallowed hard, complimented the seasoning. I nodded. Just something special for tonight. He laughed nervously, took another bite. The candle wax dripped like time. I took another sip of water. By the third course, he was shifting in his seat. Compliments replaced by cleared throat, then silence. His fingers tightened around the edge of the table. He asked if it was hot in here. I shook my head. Feels just right to me. His fork paused midair. I refilled my wine, watching him from behind the rim. His face was turning an admirable shade of regret. It was working, not the substance that was mild, but the not knowing. The slow burn of suspicion, of wondering if I knew, of realizing I did, and that I didn't have to scream to make a statement. He tried to mask it, the sweating, the shifting, the shallow breathing, with polite laughter and forced stories. I nodded, chin in hand, as he rambled about a client I knew didn't exist. The candle between us had melted halfway, flame soft and swaying. I could tell he was calculating. Had I found out? Was this food safe? He dabbed his forehead with a napkin. I offered him more water. He hesitated. That made me smile. Poison doesn't have to kill. Sometimes it just has to remind the body who's in control. And tonight, that was me. Happy anniversary, darling. His plate sat mostly untouched now. Mine, curated, deliberate bites artfully arranged. I could see the doubt behind his eyes with every clink of cutlery. He wasn't sure what was worse, what he might have eaten, or what I might know. And that was the point. A woman wronged doesn't need to shout. She needs to set the table just right. He asked, "Everything okay?" I smiled, soft, sweet, like a chef waiting for reviews. "Perfect," I said. And it was. Not because he was suffering, but because I wasn't. That silence, that was power. Measured, served warm. After dinner, I cleared the table, scraped the leftovers into the trash one slow stroke at a time. He stood in the doorway, pale now, hands twitching at his sides. He wanted to speak, to ask, to confess, to unravel. But I said nothing. Just the sound of ceramic on metal, the soft hiss of the faucet. He asked if I was okay. I looked up, met his eyes, and said, "I feel better than I have in weeks." Then I dried my hands on the towel, folded it once, and walked past him. His silence followed like smoke. And that was dessert. He curled on the couch like guilt personified, one hand on his stomach, the other dangling uselessly. I passed him without pause, carrying the last candle to the bedroom. He muttered something, maybe an apology, maybe a plea. I didn't catch it, didn't need to. The poison was mild, plant-based, and temporary. But the unease, that would linger. I let the candlelight flicker behind me like a curtain falling on a final act. He wanted to know if I'd forgive him, but he hadn't asked, and I hadn't offered. Some answers don't arrive in words. They arrive in symptoms. I brushed my teeth slowly, watching myself in the mirror. The red dress had a smear of sauce on the side. I left it. A reminder. In the hallway, the light flickered, soft, like the edge of a lie. Behind me, he was groaning faintly. Not from pain, from panic, regret. The same kind he never offered when I found the texts. All the missing hours, all the silence where love used to live. I rinsed, spat, and turned off the light. Darkness filled the house like consequence. And I slept better than I had in months. He sat on the edge of the bed at dawn, pale, hollow, wrecked. His hand pressed to his temple. Mine rested on my stomach, calm. I didn't move, didn't blink, just watched him. I think something was in the food, he whispered. Not accusatory, uncertain. Like a child trying to name a bad dream. I didn't answer, just smiled slightly and turned to face the wall. Let him wander. Let him live with the doubt, the memory, the weight of knowing what it's like to swallow discomfort you didn't ask for. He lay back down, silently, and I exhaled, slow, full, satisfied. The next morning, he moved like a man tiptoeing through glass. He brewed coffee with the hesitation of someone unsure which bottle to trust. I watched from the hallway, barefoot, arms crossed. He flinched when the machine gurgled. That little panic twitch he used to reserve for late-night notifications he thought I didn't see. Now the fear was his. Earned. Personal. He poured 2 cups, paused. One stayed on the counter, untouched. I walked in, picked up the full one, and took a long sip. He stared. I held eye contact. Swallowed. Smiled. Still my favorite roast, I said. Let him stew in it. He paced while I read. A novel. Something slow, beautifully violent. I didn't look up. Just turned the pages like his pacing wasn't scraping my spine with tension. He asked, "Did you put something in the food last night?" I blinked. Tilted my head. "You didn't enjoy it?" His face twisted. Guilt, fear, confusion. I returned to my chapter. He didn't ask again. I could see him trying to piece it together, replay every bite, every glance. He was sweating again. Not from spice. From shame. I didn't confirm. Didn't deny. I just let the story unfold. Mine, not his. He hovered at the bedroom door while I brushed my hair. Slow, steady strokes. The kind that say nothing and say everything. Our eyes met in the mirror. His unsure, mine unreadable. "You could have just left me," he said. I smiled faintly, meeting his gaze. I still might. That landed. A pause thickened the air. He took a step back, retreating like a man who finally understood the difference between forgiveness and silence. I continued brushing. He vanished from the mirror. And in that moment I looked more like myself than I had in years. Calm still and sharp as consequence. Twilight softened the world. I sat on the patio alone, red dress loose around my legs, tea cooling between my palms. He hadn't spoken since breakfast. Not really. Just hovered, watched, waited, like an apology trying to take human form. But I didn't want an apology. I wanted the pause. The weight of what he couldn't undo. My foot traced lazy circles on the chair's edge. Below, the city began to flicker awake. I took a sip. No poison. Just peppermint. Let him wonder. That was the gift. The silence. The pause. The memory he couldn't spit out. He lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, eyes wide. My side of the bed stayed untouched. Sheets smooth, pillow cool. I slept in the guest room. Not for distance. For clarity. Let him feel the space. Let him lie in the stillness he created. The room was too quiet for him now, No rustle, no breath beside him. Just the echo of a woman who didn't scream, didn't beg, didn't leave, not yet. I wanted him to feel it. The long, slow digestion of guilt. Like a side effect with no warning label. And no cure. The next morning, I folded the red dress. Carefully. Not like a weapon being disarmed, more like a lesson being filed away. My fingers lingered on the fabric. He passed by the door, quiet, watching. I didn't speak. Didn't need to. Some statements don't live in words. They live in what you choose not to wear again. I closed the drawer softly. That chapter was over. But the memory, that would stay stitched into every silent look, every skipped kiss, every bite he hesitated to take from now on. I didn't need to punish him. I'd already educated him. Life went on. It always does. I strolled through the market that weekend, sunlight warm on my shoulders, fresh herbs bundled in my hand. Basil, thyme, nothing poisonous, just flavorful. Vendors smiled. Some recognized me, none knew. That's the beauty of quiet revenge. It leaves no bruises, just lessons. I didn't flinch at the couples holding hands. I didn't check my phone. I breathed. The air didn't taste like betrayal anymore. Just lavender. Just garlic. Just freedom. My smile wasn't for anyone but me. Zano, Bahania. Clean doll. Satisfying. I'd cooked once. I could cook again. Back home, he plated his own dinner. Same silverware. Same candles. Same chair across from him. Empty now. He stared at the food longer than usual. Inhaled it. Examined it. Then picked up his fork. Slowly. Every meal was a question now. Not because I was gone, but because I'd once stayed. And left a taste behind. He never asked if I'd do it again. He didn't have to. That was the real seasoning. The lingering, maybe. Every bite, a reminder. That betrayal doesn't always come with shouting. Sometimes it comes in courses. The red dress stayed tucked away. Not forgotten, just retired. It hung in the back of the closet, soft and silent, lit only by a sliver of daylight that never reached the floor. It didn't need to be worn again. Its work was done. No ashes. No blood. Just a memory woven into silk and served with dinner. It waited quietly now, like all good lessons. Not vengeful, just patient. And if the day